There's something going on out here in the world, and it's been happening. People want to turn a blind eye to it, but we can't stay silent. Our children are under attack, and they have been, and they probably will always be. I want to speak about that we don't talk enough about is how oppressed children are. Children come out the womb already recognizing that they don't have control. They barely can control their arms, legs, their head. They barely can control anything. They don't even know how to stop themselves from using the bathroom. So immediately they understand that they are at someone's mercy. In fact, children who are untouched in the first few months of their life will die. Literally. You can't even negate the facts about that. Children need to be touched. Humans need to be touched. We have to be nurtured. We can't survive without each other. And children feel this the most. There are stages in development that are very crucial to creating or nurturing rather, a well-rounded human being who transcend from being a great child to being a great adult. This happens in the first few years of life, first 1 to 5 years of life especially, where you have to grant your children autonomy. You have to learn how to exhibit and implement reward systems for them, and learn how to allow them to grow in confidence in a natural way. When you are being too overbearing, well, helicopter parent, when you won't let them make mistakes, when they do make mistakes, you make a big deal about it. All of these things, as little as they may seem to you, they affect how these children develop. That's just a smaller end of parenting. But when we get into this world and how people don't regard children as humans almost, you don't believe they have feelings, or if they do have feelings, they're not valid because what do they know about what they're feeling? We treat them as if they don't know what they're talking about. We treat them as if they don't know who they are. A lot of people know who they are. I want you to know I knew who I was as a child. It just didn't become more solidified until I was an adult. Because the more you change, you typically stay the same. That being said, most of our trauma starts from childhood. It starts from what someone did, what someone said to us in our early age, and whatever that trauma is stopped you. It killed a part of you. I hate to say it so dark, but it did. It killed a part of you. I can even use myself as an example. Right when I was 4 years old, I was somewhat bullied by a grown ass woman who was my teacher, and some of that, how she treated me, killed. I don't even think I was confident. I was just a fucking child. Wouldn't know if I was confident or not, but I feel like it did kill part of that confidence because it was just like, I can't be my happy jovial self without this bitch hating on me. That stuff stays with you. I was 30. I'll be 37 in August, so it stays with you. That being said, it's less about the oppression of children and more about the fact that children are easily oppressed, the reason why they are so easily abused, especially when it comes to SA. There is a PDF agenda that has been going on since really forever, if you want to be for real. But in the last century, especially, you have seen it under your nose, and it's now blatant, regardless of how they've outlawed it, because the people who outlawed it never really wanted to outlaw it in the fucking first place.
We still have 3.6 million births a year, but the problem is teens and young adults. From ages 15 to 19, the fertility rate is down 7%, and it's down 70% over the last 2 decades, meaning we're telling people that are young not to have babies, to wait till they're in a more stable life situation, till they're more financially secure. Maybe they haven't found the right.
This is why so many of them who make the laws bend the rules for themselves so that they can partake in some of the most deviant acts. And those acts a lot of times are against children. We already know what's going on with the Epstein files. I'm not going to dig into that. We should know that by now, this is something that has been glossed over in our community overall. Even when you look at R. Kelly's situation, R. Kelly called himself the Pied Piper.
R. Kelly called himself the Pied Piper of R&B, and y'all let him say, what you mean y'all? I wasn't in the studio with R. Kelly. She said I let R. Kelly call himself. I'm not in the studio pressing record on his song.
Y'all know who the Pied Piper is? The Pied Piper was a musician who lured children towards him and away from their families so that he can do some crazy things to them. He was telling us who he was explicitly. It wasn't even an implication. People were joking about it. There were numerous jokes because people knew that he was a PDFer, but people thought it was funny.
Judge R. Kelly, first of all, we don't know if these allegations are true, and not even if they are true. If you want to know how I feel about it honestly, if a man cannot pee on his fans, I don't want to be in show business anymore because, well, that's why I got in the game, baby. I got dreams too.
Yeah. It's the power. 40 ounces of malt liquor make me want to taste something.
See, rolling around, sitting on doves, can't lie, I was high on shrubs, cooling in my Escalade. Man, I'm paid, I got it made. Take me to your special place. Close your eyes, show me your face. I'm gonna piss on it.
You boys aren't too upset about me having to prosecute Mr. Kelly.
Hey, man, you do what you gotta do.
Why R. Kelly, huh? What did R. Kelly do to you?
He's accused of relieving himself on an underage girl on tape, which is against the law.
Okay. But let's examine this whole peeing thing. So I can pee in the toilet and it's okay. But if I pee on a person, it's like not okay?
Well, yeah.
Well, what if I'm peeing and Huey's in the bathroom and I accidentally pee on Huey? Should I go to jail? Mr. I wanna lock niggas up for peeing. What's the statute of limitations on bedwetting? Why not prosecute me and R. Kelly at the same time, huh?
They did not take it serious. They did not understand the effects that happen to children who are at the mercy of these monsters, for lack of a better word. And this is probably the best word. It's disgusting. Now you got this situation with David and how people around him knew and how he flaunted this girl. Rest in peace to Celeste. But how he flaunted her around and people knew that she was underage. And nobody really did much about it up until it's too late. You got this situation going on where these young girls are literally sold to the leader, aka the prophet of the foundational Latter-day Saints. Church of Jesus Latter-day Saints. Sorry. Church of Jesus Latter-day Saints. Okay. It's disturbing. Y'all gotta go watch the movie. Okay. It's a movie, and I might put a couple of clips in here so that y'all can see what I'm talking about.
In the aftermath of Warren Jeff's incarceration, the community has really been fraying and fragmenting. Warren Jeffs wound up in a prison down in Texas. He's been there a long time. But I've been around the story long enough to know incarcerating Warren would do nothing to diminish his power.
Having him in prison doesn't change what he is. You know, Heavenly Father hasn't appointed another to be the prophet, so as far as we're concerned, he's still the prophet.
Do you know what happened in that trial?
I don't want to know anything about it.
You don't want to know anything about it? How come?
Just don't want to.
I shut myself off to that negative about him.
You don't believe it's true?
I know it's not true.
Warren Jeffs became more powerful because he's now a martyr. And from his prison in Texas, he would put out edicts.
Behold that which you hear, the revelations of God.
He told his congregation, no more marriages. He told them to stop having sex because he's not having any sort of intimate contact. Apparently nobody else could.
But it's so strange, bro. It's so strange. When you look at this documentary, or I think it's a documentary and it's a movie, because one is about the first leader who was Warren Jeffs, and then the next documentary was about his successor, Samuel Bateman. Basically, they both did the same fucking thing, right? And it's because in this Amish community, they feel like God appoints a prophet, and that prophet goes on to basically deliver the word of God, the will of God, and tell everybody what they should be doing. Basically, who you can marry, who you can go into business with. Basically, they dictate your whole life. The prophet does. And what these two prophets did was they used the brainwashing of this cult-like society. I'm not gonna call them a cult explicitly, but it's very cultish. But they use the brainwashing and got everything that they wanted out of these people. They were able to get them to barter their own young girls to these old ass men for sexual favors, sexual acts to become wives. And it's like, oh, the highest honor is to become the prophet's wife. And you must be young, right? The younger, the better, the more susceptible. God doesn't see age. Our girls are more mature. I'm quoting what these people said. And it's the brainwashing. It's almost unbelievable. It's like I almost have no words because it's so much to dissect that I don't even have time in this one video to dissect it. It's the religious fanatical groups who all you have to do is say Jesus and God and boom, you already got them. That quick, that easy. Tell them, hey, if you don't follow my word, you're going to hell. It's that simple. I want to deliver us. I want to bring us to heaven on earth. And in order to do that, you got to suck my dick. Literally. I'm not lying. In order for you to wash your sins, you got to lay in bed with me. Samuel literally had the men sucking his dick. He had the young girls watch each other. This is Samuel, the second, the successor. Warren Jeffs had the young girls doing things with each other. These are the people that's supposed to be pure. These are the people who tell their community that the outsiders are the evil ones. It's sick. The real sinister part is that this government wants us to be like that. They want the women to be able to submit themselves fully to men. Do whatever, no matter what age. They really want that. And if they don't, then what is the Epstein files? And it's even deeper than that, I promise. I already created a video months ago about this situation, talking about why men SA and how it is historical. But we have to really connect the dots. Youth in women is a high commodity. Youth in women, youth in females is a hot commodity. Because youth is associated to beauty. And the beauty is associated to currency in the feminine world, in the feminine aspect. Men, the masculine, they want beauty because beauty is complementary to the masculine. It gets the masculine access to things. So what men do is they come and they siphon that youthful energy, that feminine youth, so that they can use that energy to feed their own fucking low self-esteem. You can see it in Warren Jeffs. You can see it in Samuel Bateman. If you look at these type of men, if you can read energy, if you can just read these type of men, you know that these men use dark magic and manipulation to get people to do what they couldn't do just by being themselves. But when you see these men in action, you can tell that as children, they probably were bullied. Nobody listened to them. Nobody wanted to be around them. They didn't have any kind of like light. So that darkness, they were able to harness it and use it to manipulate and commit evil acts. Same thing with Diddy. Diddy did the same thing. He was siphoning a lot of feminine energy, young, youthful. I'm not saying the pedo type, but I'm just saying he did go for younger women, not underaged, but younger women. And he siphoned that feminine energy to make himself feel like a man. This is why he is where he is right now. It's only so much you can do when you do that. It's only so far you can go, which is why Warren Jeffs and Samuel Bateman, they both lost their positions. They didn't hold it that long, which is why we got this case with David. You can't get away with these things for too long. Once you siphon feminine energy, you bring attention to yourself. And this is just some spiritual shit. I'm sorry, I might be going woo-woo, a little deep with y'all. But you bring attention to yourself, not only from the public, like physical eye in this world, but the spiritual world finally sees you too. Because they're like, hold on, where is this? It's like a destiny swap, so to speak. You weren't supposed to be in this position. But because you siphoned this feminine energy, it don't even have to be female to be clear. But I just said female because most times it is. But you siphon this feminine energy, and now you're getting some kind of karma, some kind of luck that's not supposed to be yours. Hold on, we gotta fix this. But this is what a lot of PDFers do, and which is why a lot of times they want to go for these younger people, because it's not just girls, but younger people, because they are siphoning youthful energy. They want the control, of course, because again, it's easier to control children. It's easier to get them to do what you want them to do, to brainwash them. And then they have money, they have power, they have status. So they're able to buy kids and parents sell them, whether it's just a direct sale or it's a promise of you'll have fame, you'll have fortune later. Just let me have your kid. Like I said, it goes from the R. Kellys to the Epsteins to the T. Rumps to the Davids to the man down the street. We don't know exactly where it came from, like for sure, but there definitely was a shift also that happened when we started to realize that children should not be going with men. And I think I want to say, and I'm gonna look this case up so that we can see it together. But it was this case where this young girl, I think she might have been 10, and you saw a picture of them two together, and my stomach hurt. Like I felt sick. Why would a child have to marry a grown man? Why is that okay? And then even when you look at The Color Purple, y'all, I know that's fictional, but it's an accurate depiction of the time back then. Miss Seeley was extremely young, marrying this old ass mister. Nettie was school age when he tried to take her. So it's a societal issue, especially like I said in the last century, where for whatever reason we thought it was okay for older men to marry younger women. A 15-year-old marrying a 28-year-old, it's not unheard of. It's not abnormal. I didn't have a lot to say about this because it's so much to be said and there's so much that's already been said. But we got to understand that we are in a dire state right now where our children really need to be paid attention to. They need to be taken care of because even in the situation when we think about like Keke Palmer, and she had a conversation with Demi Lovato and how they were teenagers dating these older men.
I'm 15. Why is my boyfriend 20?
Why was my boyfriend 30?
Girl!
You know what I'm saying?
Damn. I'm not smiling at that, but that is real. We was trying to find outlets, though. I don't think, and also just a way to process this, and nobody our age,
could understand. Nobody our age could understand. But then you look back in hindsight, when I turned 30, I was like, that's not okay.
Girl, the moment when you realize and you get the age of a lot of people that were around you and doing stuff, it's almost a mental break that can happen because you realize, you were taking advantage of. I was being exploited.
And how, again, like I said, we just make it so acceptable for girls to date older men. We definitely make it acceptable for boys to do the same. Older women, we make it even more acceptable for them. But when it comes to young girls, it's like, okay, especially if you're mature for your age. He got money. You're in a position where you have a just maturity about yourself because of what you do or just how you carry yourself. And it's like, yeah, I might be mature to you, I might seem to be, but mentally, no, I'm not. Even with Brandy and Wanye, this situation that just came out with them and how everybody's trying to paint this picture like she was old enough. Oh, no. I was a baby. Brandy at 15 looked like Brandy at 15. She don't look older than 15. She does not act older than 15. What happens is a lot of these men, they just don't act their age. They are mentally and emotionally immature. Like I said in the prior video, even David and the recorded interaction between him and Celeste Rivas, the girl who he allegedly killed, she seemed to be more mature than he was in the audio. It's a very deep issue that, like I said, we just have to keep discussing it. And honestly, I'm going to be honest. I don't study this. I don't, as a psychologist, yes, I am a psychologist. I practice. I don't study the mind of a PDFer. But I might start getting into what is the function of that behavior. Because I think it's so many different angles that it could be. It could be that they are trying to, outside of the control aspect that we all know is typically prevalent. I think it's some of them are trying to vicariously live through these children, A lot of them, again, they've been abused themselves. It's just so many different ways you can look at why. Why do you do that? What is it about children that is attractive to you? My face, I'm automatically. It like I said, of course, like going back to control, we get it, but it's not just the control, because you can try to control adults. We get it. Children are. Is it the innocence? I'm not working this out in real time, because it's like, what is it? And it's not that I want to know because I want to be like them, because people will be like, why you want to know that? Why do we study the minds of serial killers? Why do we need to study these things so we can understand how they function, so that we can stop them or treat them? So that's why I'm like, what is it? Can it be fixed? And if it can't be fixed, what do we do with these people? Personally, let me not. I want to be on the moral high ground. I don't care what we do with them, to be honest. I don't know if it's something that can be fixed. I'm talking about overall. I don't think that you can just stop it. I don't. Much like people who have the impulse to just keep killing, I don't think you can stop a PDFer either. So I'm like you guys. I have no idea. I just know it's something that we got to keep talking about. And we have to stop promoting, especially to our children, that it's okay to date older. We promote it much more, like I said, in the boys, because we allow boys and want boys to go ahead and have sex with women early so we can make sure they're not gay. That's a whole nother topic that I talk about a lot. And then with the girls, it's like, okay, I don't want you to be fast, but if you're going to have a boyfriend, at least have one that got money. At least have one that look like he got something going for himself. She's 15. She's 16. What the fuck difference? She don't need that, right? But we glamorize these things. We glamorize a man with money. We glamorize the youth. Youth is so associated to beauty that a woman can get older and a man will think that she's no longer beautiful, even though to my eyes or most people's eyes, she's still beautiful. She's just older. What is y'all obsession with youth? Maybe we should start there. Why is it that nobody wants to age when the alternative to aging is dying? Is there a desire to live forever? And that's what I'm saying. I'm getting into these questions because it still go back to that siphoning of the youthful / feminine energy. What is it about it? What is it about the destiny swap of it all? What is it? So I'm leaving you all with these questions that I have myself. Maybe one day we'll get the answer. Maybe we never will. But I want to open this forum, this conversation up so y'all can understand. Again, we are in dire straits. They are strengthening abortion laws. They are upset that teen girls are not getting as pregnant as they were back in the day. This is real life. They want your children. I said it in the beginning and I mean it. They want your children. Be careful. And the reason I'm saying that, especially going back to strengthening abortion laws, they want teen pregnancy because they know that teens typically don't want their children. The more children in the system, the more children they can secretly traffic. The more children they can secretly traffic, the more children they can siphon that energy that I was talking about. The more children they can siphon that energy, the more power they can continue to have. Because again, it's the destiny swap of it all. Attention. You get attention from the youthfulness. And you also get attention from the spiritual world. Now, how it works for them, again, it's when we get into the woo-woo. It won't last forever. This is why y'all see Donald T. Rump is literally deteriorating mentally, physically before our eyes. Karma ain't playing no fucking games right now either. Which is why I'm telling you, be careful what you do, who you do it with, and your intent of it all. That's all I gotta say about this. Like, it's a deep issue. I talked long enough. I know this video probably gonna be about 30 some odd minutes, but we have to be for real. And we gotta protect our kids. Children cannot consent. Children cannot consent. I see a couple of people who was trying to victim blame Celeste in this David case. There is no question of if she consented or not. At under 14, it's non-consensual, period. Now, when you get to 15, 16, that's when it's like, okay, is it consensual or not? But it's literally statutory, period. You can't even negate it. She can't consent. And you talking about this man might have been dealing with her when she was 11 or 12 years old. So what? He was 17. 17 and 11 is gross. Gross. She likely ain't even menstruating. And the young PDFers, they're scary. They're really scary. Because they can be around your children more than an adult could. These like little summer camps that they might sleep at. And the camp counselor is like 18, 17, anywhere from 16 to 18. And the kids there are like 11 and under. I don't want to even get into it, but I'm just saying, be careful, y'all. And I'm saying that to myself, to my child. She'll soon be 14. I'll be damn. Drop a comment. Tell me what you think. Answer some of the questions if you feel that you heard me ask. Because this is a real conversation. I'm opening the forum for everybody. Let's get down to business, because this is where it starts with the conversations. I love y'all. I'll see you on the next one.